Media Matters for America was created in 2004 after the Bush-Kerry presidential election because, get this, the people who founded Media Matters for America thought that the media was too biased, too in the tank, too slanted on behalf of Republicans. I'm not joking. Media Matters for America was created because liberals thought that the media was too oriented toward conservatives and were biased against liberals. So now you understand the fantasy land that this entire thing was created under. And it was started with seed money and an umbrella organization started by John Podesta. That's right, that John Podesta, the guy who ran Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign and was a consigliere and advisor to the Clintons. And the money that started the whole thing came from, say it with me, George Soros. Media Matters for America has been on an open jihad against any right-of-center media outlet from the get-go. But it's not just right-of-center, actually. Anyone who doesn't agree with them, anyone who dares to challenge left-wing orthodox thought in this country is targeted. One of the first people they went after in their history, Media Matters for America, was Chris Matthews. That's right. Lifelong Democrat, left-wing Chris Matthews, because even he wasn't in the tank for Hillary Clinton enough. I'm not making this up. Go look it up yourself. They tried to silence, stop, and cancel Rush Limbaugh every day until his death, literally, and even beyond. They've tried to change Fox News and get it off the air, get it demonetized, get advertisers to pull their advertisements from Bill O'Reilly, from Tucker Carlson, from Sean Hannity for everything on Fox News Channel. In fact, a lot of observers who have seen a bit of a shift in the way Fox News goes about their business, a lot of people will say that's because of Media Matters for America. Media Matters for America has tried to silence talk radio, tried to silence websites like Town Hall and all the Town Hall sites, and they can be very effective in this kind of tactic that was laid out by Jesse Waters just now, trying to publicly shame advertisers to pull their financing, their ad purchases from websites or from media outlets that dare to actually give voice to a conservative perspective. Because one thing we've learned in America over the last 10 years, if you're conservative, that means by definition, you're a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, anti-trans, you're a violent MAGA fascist extremist terrorist. So of course, what company would want to associate with them? Well, they tried this trick on Elon Musk and on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. And as Jesse Waters just laid out there, they basically created a scenario. They fabricated a scenario, it appears, according to this lawsuit. They manufactured it. I mean, they found these so-called white supremacist Twitter accounts. They went ahead and created an account to specifically follow those accounts. So, of course, the algorithm at Twitter tells you that this account that you've just created that is overloaded following these types of accounts is the kind of content that you want as a user. So they keep funneling more and more content to you, and then they just refresh enough times until they can see an advertisement pop up. And then they screenshot it and they say, well, yeah, look at this. Your brand is associated with this content. Now, some people say it doesn't matter. If the content is there and the advertising is there, whether they created the scenario or not, it's still a problem for the company, and the company needs to do something about it. But let me ask you something. Would you say the same thing if the little trolls, those sad little trolls sitting in their cubicles over at Media Matters for America, if they had actually created the Nazi content themselves? Think that through. Let's add one more step to this entrapment fraudulent process. What if Media Matters for America, what if it was found that they actually created the Nazi content themselves, then put it out there, then found various moments when an advertiser is associated with it? Would you agree that that is fraud? And if so, how is what they've done here any different? It's absolute fraudulent behavior. And let me prove it to you. I think you all understand the world that we live in right now. And I think you all understand how people behave on social media. If an individual organically found an ad for Amazon or McDonald's or Verizon or any one of these companies, if they just organically saw an ad like that pop up against objectionable material on their own timeline, don't you think they would have screenshotted that and put it out there for the world to see? Don't you think that if this event, this occurrence that Media Matters for America has blasted across the airwaves to publicly shame and humiliate Elon Musk and Twitter and X and all of these advertisers, do you think if it ever actually happened organically and naturally in the real world, don't you think we would have known about it by now? Don't you think people would have seen it, caught it, and drew attention for it? But no, it's only the people at Media Matters for America who saw this scenario, and they can prove that they created this scenario. They meaning the lawyers for Elon Musk. That's incredibly powerful. Within hours of Elon Musk's civil suit that was put forth, we had two attorney generals in Missouri and in Texas also institute a statewide criminal investigation because fraud is a criminal act. Media Matters for America better lawyer up. And we better thank Elon Musk for this because let me just be clear. I've been at this game going all the way back to 2009 when I worked with Andrew Breitbart, when we were only about 6 or 7 people working out of his basement. And I can tell you, even then, Media Matters for America was obsessed with anyone on the internet. This is before social media really took off. Anyone publishing or commenting on the internet that dared to oppose Barack Obama or the extreme left in the Democratic Party. And they went after everything that Andrew Breitbart did. They wanted him silenced. They wanted him destroyed. They wanted his websites destroyed. This is who they are. And the real irony here is that Media Matters is going to defend themselves in court, wrapping themselves in the First Amendment. They're going to wrap themselves up in free speech, free press, and freedom of journalism by claiming that they're a free press journalistic endeavor that has the protection of the First Amendment, which is, by the way, exactly what I and Andrew Breitbart and Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and every talk radio host and podcaster and cable news commentator from the right of center that they've tried to silence and destroy. That's exactly what we've been saying all these years. You may not like our opinion. You may not like what we have to say, but we're protected by the First Amendment and free speech. And now Media Matters is going to claim the exact same thing to weasel out of this lawsuit. See, but here's the difference. Media Matters is not a journalistic endeavor. They're an advocacy group. They're an activist group. They have one goal in mind, and that is to push their left-wing partisan ideology and silence anyone who opposes it. That's not protected under the guise of free press. And tactics to fraudulently disparage an individual and a company, that is definitely not protected under the auspices of the First Amendment. And that's exactly what Elon Musk is claiming here. And one other thing, one other reason why we have to thank Elon Musk for all of this. I guarantee you that any other CEO for any other company, for any other social media platform, even one that doesn't ideologically align themselves with Media Matters, every single one of them would be talked down off the ledge of a lawsuit. Their advisors, their lawyers, their board members, their investors, they would all say, listen, we know Media Matters is terrible. We know that you've been harmed. We know that it's wrong. We know that it's unjust. We know that it's fraud, but just let it go. Ignore it, because if you sue them, you'll draw more attention to it. And suddenly your name and the company's name will be in the same headlines with Nazis and anti-Semitism, and advertisers don't want to have anything to do with that. So if you sue them, you'll draw more attention to it and it'll make it bad. And you know what? That's probably good legal advice, but it's not right. It's not morally right. And Elon Musk, well, he has what the kids like to call FU money. He doesn't care. He can tell his advisors and his board members, no, this is wrong, and I'm going to fight for myself, I'm going to fight for my company, and I'm going to fight for the users who use my company. And I think he's the only one who can do that right now. And I don't always agree with Elon Musk, but this is a righteous cause, and he's doing the right thing, and we should applaud him and thank him for it. I sure hope he wins, don't you?